A big thank you to Paid Memberships Pro for sponsoring this video. Paid Memberships Pro is the best free membership plugin for WordPress. If you want to go pro, visit paidmembershipspro.com/Jamie for a special discount. Hi there, by the end of this session, you should have all the knowledge you need to be able to migrate a WordPress classic theme to a WordPress block theme. Classic themes are themes like Astra and GeneratePress and Cadence, and block themes are themes like the default 2023 theme, the Ollie theme, and the Spectral 1 theme. And I've split it into 6 sections, but the overall overarching principle is that you're going to have concrete information, so you know if you ever need to migrate a WordPress site from a classic theme to a block theme, you're going to have all the knowledge you want to be able to do that. So I just want to start by quickly explaining the difference between a classic theme and a block theme. So on your screen, on the left here, you'll see a block theme. Over on the right, you will see a classic theme. The classic theme is actually Cadence. The one on the left is a block theme, and it's the 2023 default theme. The main difference really is how you customize them. With a classic theme, like this one on the right, this is Cadence, you click on Customize in your admin toolbar. That will open up the theme customizer, and you can make certain changes in here to your theme. For example, I can go into Post and Page Layout here, Page Layout, and I can make certain changes, like I could show the page title or hide the page title, and you'll see the page title is now showing here. And you have a limited set of options. They're always limited to what the theme builds into the customizer. The options in the theme customizer, though, will change depending on your theme. So if you're using a different theme, you'll have a different set of options in here, which has been one of the confusions around WordPress in general, going back a long time, because users' experience changes depending on their theme because the options in the customizer change. With a block theme, you don't have a customizer. You'll see it up here in the admin toolbar. We just have Edit Site, and you click on that, and that takes you into the site editor, which is the same whatever theme you're using. So we have a lovely consistency. And one of the big advantages of a block theme, in my opinion, is you can edit all the templates. You'll see here, we've actually got a whole list of all these templates. Now, these aren't specific to block themes. These are the standard WordPress templates, but block themes give us access to edit every block on that page because our templates are just made out of blocks. For example, if I want to change the page template, I can go to Pages down here on the left, click on that, and here is the page template. For example, if I didn't want to show the title on that page template, I could literally dive in here and remove that block. And then that page title would not appear on any of my pages. So I love block themes because they give you this huge amount of control to change all the templates on your site. Just want to talk you through some of these because these will set the scene. First up, it's relatively easy. I've gone through this process a few times now. Don't be too scared. It's relatively easy to go from a from a classic theme to a block theme. Secondly, it's easy because WordPress is a template-based system. Whether you're using a classic theme like Cadence or a block theme like 2023, they all use page templates to drive the formatting of them. So they all use the same template hierarchy in technical terms to do that. So actually switching between them is relatively painless. Thirdly, why would you want to do this? Well, the future really in WordPress, in my opinion, is block themes. That's where all the development is happening. If you look at the GitHub tickets around the development of WordPress at the moment, a huge concentration is going on block themes. You get certain advantages with block themes out the box. You get a huge amount of functionality because you can edit the templates directly. You get things like big speed improvements as well. So the gravitational pull is definitely moving towards block themes. This might be the time you want to start investigating them. There's other reasons why as well, but that's a couple for you to think about. And then when we actually dive into the how, I'm going to show you how you change the structure on your site. So when you migrate from a classic theme to a block theme, these are the considerations you're really going to want to think about. These two in particular, the structure and design. That's all we're really talking about when we're migrating a site in terms of block themes to classic themes to a block theme. These two elements here. In structure, we have things like the header and the navigation. In design, we have things like the fonts and the colors. And then finally, to wrap up, I'm going to mention a few things like if you're moving from Divi to a block theme, there's a few other considerations as well, which I'll mention. And also I will mention WooCommerce and just some of the advantages of moving to a block theme as well over a classic theme. There we go. Let's get into the how. So on the left, I have a Cadence theme, and on the right, I also have a Cadence theme, but I'm going to change the site on the left to be using the 2023 theme. and I'm going to show you what happens. I'm going to start by fixing the structure, because you'll see a few things will break when we, well, not break, but the formatting will change when we move to a block theme. And then I want to talk about design. But at the end, I want to have a site that looks fairly similar to the site over on the right. So let's go and change our theme straight away to the 2023 theme, and let's go and check back on our site. And you can see we have a few issues. Now, because these sites are both using blocks, we're kind of okay to start with. You see, it doesn't look too terrible. We've got some issues here, like these widths of these are a bit narrow really for my liking, and this as well. See, that's a full width row. Now, the starter site that I'm using over on the right is using Cadence blocks primarily. I think if you were using standard WordPress blocks, this would probably be even easier. But you can see we're not miles away at the moment. We've got some issues with the header, which I want to fix up. We've also got some issues with this page template. So I'm going to start by fixing the header. So let's do it. Let's go edit site at the top here. That'll take me back to the site editor, and we want to find the header template. So I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to go back here. Now, templates for the header now are in patterns. So just jump into that and then header, and this will load in our header. And you can see it here. I might make this a bit wider so we can actually see it properly, which we might lose the one on the right, we do. But anyway, you can see we can jump in here now and we can start to edit this. Now, the first thing we want to do here is click on the list view. That'll show us actually the blocks that we've got on our page. So we've got a group block and then a row block. Then we've got a site title. We don't actually want the site title, even though this one is showing. All we want is the site logo. Go insert after, add after, and then I'm actually going to add the site logo just like so, and you'll see that's my site logo. I'm going to remove the site title. I generally use the list view all the time when I'm editing, because it just makes it so much easier to select the actual stuff you want. Then we've got the navigation here. So I'm actually going to create my menu, and it'll turn it into a navigation block essentially. You see here we've got loads of stuff. So you can just click into this now, and you can edit this and add new stuff. Now I'm just going to switch my screen so you can actually see what I'm doing, because it was a bit small. There's two ways you can edit your menu, either that over on the left here, or you can actually use this over on the right. You'll see we've got this list here. It's up to you which one you use, but I'm essentially just going to change these now to be the right order and have the same menu items as the ones we've got across here. So I'm just going to add my page titles along here. Click on the plus sign. I'm going to search for page link, and then you can just find the page. So I want yoga about. If I could spell, there we go, yoga about, and you see how easy it is to add these. And then I'm going to go yoga, sorry, page link again, and then I'm going to go yoga blog, which is there. Now I just think I need to add the buttons block after, so I'm going to highlight the navigation block using the list view. I'm going to go add after, and then I'm going to type / buttons, and that will add my button. I'm going to change the style. I'll pretty these up a bit later. I'm just going to do this roughly to start with. I think the text was probably white, and I think it said book now, or something like that. So there we go. There's our sort of rough layout we've got here. I'm going to tidy things up a bit. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. I'm just going to finesse the margin and the padding a little bit. You'll see it's added this little bit of padding at the bottom of the row block. This is specific to the 2023 theme. So here's my new header that I've just created using the site editor. It's not far away. It's pretty good. I quite like it. I'm happy with that. I haven't changed the fonts yet. I'm going to change the fonts later. The next thing I want to fix up is this issue here, that we have this big page title, and we also have this big gap between the navigation and the first piece of content. So for this, I'm just going to jump into the site editor and edit the page template itself to get rid of the page title for my pages, because I don't really want that. So templates down here. Let's find the page template itself. This is actually a placeholder for a featured image, which I'm not using, so I'm going to get rid of that. Let's click on the list view just to double check what we've actually got. You'll see that we've actually got two groups here. So I'm actually going to ungroup one of these, because that's going to add some extra padding in, I imagine. This is one of the things you need to look for, just what these groups are actually doing. I want to remove the title. In fact, I'm going to remove both groups because I don't need any of them. Just delete that, because we just want our post content to sit flush above. So we might need to put it in a group. Groups are often used for things like, they're a bit like a container block, essentially, if you're used to using container blocks. Let's go and check out the site, and there we go. There's our new page template, and it's looking pretty good. If we've probably got a little bit more space here, but I actually quite like the one I've got. But I could finesse this. I could adjust the margin and the padding. You might have to dig around to find where that margin and padding is coming from, but actually I kind of prefer it in a way, but I might change it. And then we come down here, so we've got our first hero section now, which is working perfectly. Then we come down here and you'll see it's just inheriting the blocks that were already in the starter template. Now we do have some width issues here, so we're actually going to jump into the page itself just to check these out. I think these are probably set in the Cadence blocks themselves. Let's click on the list view, because Cadence starter templates use their own container blocks. And let's check this out. I just want to see if I set that as full width, whether that's actually going to fix my issue. It probably will. You'll find some peculiar things like this. Well, not peculiar, but you might want to look at some things like this. That didn't seem to fix it. Let's go back and have another look, see what's going on here. These will be probably theme or block specific things that are happening. Let's have a look. Inherit max width from theme. So that's probably the issue. Now I could go and change it globally in the theme, which I'm going to show you how to do in a second. But let's just fix it up on that page quickly, just to make sure that's working. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty much perfect. So there we go. We've got the first two sections in not very much time at all, are pretty much how we want them. They're looking pretty nice. I'm just going to show you quickly where you could change them globally within the site editor as well, just in case you want to do them globally, not individually, like I've just shown you. So we need to go to global styles here. So go into any template, then click on this little icon in the top right. That'll load the global styles. Then come down here and go to layout. And this is where you can change the default width of your theme and your site, essentially. So you'll see the 2023 theme is pretty narrow. Now you can play around with these depending on what kind of content width you want. That's your sort of default content width. That's if you set the content width to wide. So you have these different options when you're setting content width, sort of default, which is the theme content, wide, which is wide, and then full width, which will be the full, basically the bleed edge to edge. So you can change them globally. It's probably the way I recommend you do it rather than doing them individually, unless you don't have, very many pages on your site, but obviously better to do it globally. Next up, I want to fix up the fonts. We're not miles away, but actually we're not quite there. So this font here, it looks like is using Josephine Sans. And over here on the right, we're not using that. We're just using the default theme font, which is whatever it is. So we're going to need a plugin to solve this issue, and I'm going to show you which one we're going to use. Let's just turn that off. Let's go to dashboard, and font libraries are coming to WordPress 6.4, but they're not there at the moment. So for now, we're going to use a free plugin called Create Block Theme. This actually lets you create your own block themes, but it also has a font manager within it, which is why we're going to use it today. So just hover over appearance, come down to manage theme fonts, and here you can add a Google font. The beauty about doing it this way as well is that they are embedded in your theme. So we're not having to make any calls to Google. So for anyone concerned about GDPR issues, this solves those because they're embedded in your theme. So I'm just going to add these here. I've added that new font to my theme. That will be available now for me to use in the site editor. So things are looking pretty good. The header, I'm happy with the header. We've got the big hero. We've got the fonts working. This section looks pretty good as well. Just want to show you one more cool thing that you can also do. It'd be really a question of checking through the pages and making sure you're happy with the formatting of the pages. We're pretty much here. Here's the blog page. You can see we've got a slightly deeper hero here. But I just want to show you one more cool thing that you can do with a block theme if you want to. And this will highlight the level of control you get. So currently over on the left, here's my blog post layout. Over on the right, this is the Cadence layout. They both look great really, but we can kind of take it to the next level. So I'm going to click on edit site here, and I'm going to go to the single post template. In fact, it'll take me there automatically, which is a new feature in WordPress 6.3. But now we can edit this template however we like. And this is what we start with. You'll see this, let's click on the list view. This section here is the post featured image, the title, and then we've got the post content. The post content block will just bring in the content of the post automatically into that space. We're going to make this a little bit more snazzy. So we're going to remove the featured image and the title, but we're not going to stop there. We're actually going to add in its place a cover block. And one of the nice things about the cover block is that we can automatically pull in the featured image, and within it we can actually add the title block of the post. That'll automatically bring the title in. We can make this full width, and we can change the title to white. And that should mean now we have a lovely background image on all our posts, but the post title will be sitting within it. Let's go and check it out. Okay, so here is our blog page. Let's click on a post, and we should see now we've got the featured image as a background. There we go. And we've got our post title overlaying it, which is fantastic. And we could put other blocks within there as well if we wanted to. For example, Coming next in WordPress 6.4 is a time to read block. The time to read block will automatically calculate how long your articles will take to read. I think they're a really great thing because they make your posts more sticky, because people can see how much time they have to invest before they actually read them. So I'm going to add one here. I'm actually adding it into a row block, and I'm going to add a paragraph block first in my row, and I'm going to say time to read. And then after that, I'm going to hit return, and now I just type time to read, and that will find the time to read block. It's going to automatically calculate the time to read based on the length of your content. Let's go and check it out. So let's click on this blog post first, and you'll see hopefully our time to read. There it is. That's 3 minutes. That's what that's saying. Automatically calculating it. Let's go and check on another one, this one here. Again, it'll look at how long the content is, and then we go time to read 1 minute. A couple of things to finish off with. You can also use a block theme to edit WooCommerce pretty easily. You don't have to because it's just using templates, but if you want to dive into the particular templates, you can do that. This is an example here of the shop page. This is actually being customized with one of our plugins called Storefront Blocks. You can see this flip book block here that's scrolling around. That's just one of the blocks that we provide with Storefront Blocks. There's a whole bunch of snazzy blocks that you can use when you're building your sites to make your WooCommerce pages really stand out. And then the final thing to say, if you're using a theme like Divi and you deactivate Divi, that will leave behind lots and lots of shortcodes, but there are now shortcode cleaner plugins, well, there have been for a while, that you can clean them out, but hopefully you're not using Divi, because moving to Divi, from Divi to a block theme, kind of adds a bit of extra complexity to things. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you can hit the like button now, it would be amazing, because it makes a huge difference on how many people view this video. It really, really does. So thank you if you can hit the like button. And also, every time you do hit that like button, our cats get a little treat. And if you want to see more videos just like this, hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified every time I release a new one. Keep well, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.